going on, everybody? Welcome to the Best Mountain Farm, and today we are going to be putting the other side rail here on this porch that Yaya and Papa Hugh built a while back. And while we do it, I'm going to show you guys how to build a really easy panel that you can use for like a railing or pretty much whatever you need to use it for. You can put 4 of them together or 6 of them together, make a box. Pretty simple to build, just a couple cuts.
Sorry.
And I got people here making noise when I'm trying to shoot. Yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is go down to the barn and get our pieces cut that we need. And I'll show you guys what you need to do to do that. And then we're going to get started installing them. Nothing too hard, and it won't take us but a few minutes, and just a really quick, effective, and cheap way to make a quick railing or any kind of barrier, a gate, whatever you need. Dog door works for a lot of things. All right, well, let's head down to the barn and then get started down there. All right, everybody, so we're down here in the barn, aka our messy wood shop area, which is in the process of getting cleaned up. Too many projects, not enough time. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our panel for our railing. And the first thing we're going to do is get our wood prepped. So I've got a couple of rough cut 2x4s here. I believe poplar, and I think this one might be oak. I've got another poplar board here. Might see if this one should be long enough, I think, to make another piece. So we'll start here with the poplar and go ahead and get, instead of using one of our oak 2x4s. So the first thing we're going to do is get our 2x4s to a good even thickness and get our sides joined. So we're just going to set up our planer here and start getting stuff ran through nice and smooth and somewhat dimensional. All right, so I've got all my pieces here set up, and while they are not perfectly square, they're even, which is what I was after. And I also have one smooth side, one flat side here that I ran through the joiner so that I can cut everything to width on the table saw. So I'm gonna pick the 2 boards I want to use for my my top and bottom rails. I'm gonna go ahead and cut those, set the fence up and run those through. And basically what I'm gonna do is figure out what my narrowest point is. So that's, looks like probably about 3 1/4 for the boards I wanna use. Yeah, I think 3 1/4 will work. So I can, ideally it would have been 3 1/2, but these boards were a little bit warped. So we'll go with 3 1/4 and get them dimensional. So they'll be the same thickness and they'll be the same width. and then we can get started with the rest of our cuts. Okay, so now I've got my 2 top rails here, and they're 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and a little bit over the length they need to be, just so that I can trim them when I get up there and get everything set up. So first thing we're going to do is, we are 1.5 inches wide, so we're going to set our guard at 3/4 inch. What we're going to do is we're going to go over 3/4 inch, and we're going to flip it, and we're going to go in 3/4 inch. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us a square here to set our chicken wire, sable our chicken wire in, put this over it, and sandwich that chicken wire in, so it's going to be nice and tight and can't come out anywhere. And then the width of the blade is about the same width, about 1/8 inch, as the chicken wire. So we're still going to be nice and flush, and it's going to look correct. Okay, and you guys just saw me measuring my distance here, front and back of the blade. Now, yes, there is a scale, a ruler, on the fence here. Some of the newer table saws have like a big round bar, front and back, so it locks down and it's always even to the blade. This is an older table saw, so you can lock it down and get the fence kind of catty corner to the blade. Not going to have obviously great results. So I always measure, even like on my little table saw up at the house, it's usually pretty accurate, but I still always double check my measurements on the blade to make sure it's even to the fence. It'll save you a lot of heartache in the end. right, now we got our basic pieces we need here. Just, you know, just a couple of simple cuts. And we do have one last thing we want to do for the top rail, since it's going to be a handrail. We don't want the corners to be really sharp. So we are going to put a round over with our 1/8" router bit and make sure it's not going to be really sharp. There we go. Now we don't have to worry about any sharp edges on the top handrail. Somebody gets any splinters, like me. All right, so we've got all of our pieces we made down there at the barn setting out here. So, like I said, I cut everything just a little bit long so that I could trim it to exact size while we need it up here. So, I'm going to start here with this bottom piece. And since I'm putting it up against railings, if I was going to make a panel, you know, I'd put it down on the floor. But since, you know, these might not be exactly the same widths, top and bottom, you never know. I'm going to go ahead and take care of them, or put them in a piece at a time here. So I'm going to start with my bottom rail. And I'm just going to do like I always do when I'm doing a project like this. And instead of actually using a tape, I'm going to mark to fit. All right, double check my end here and make sure, whoops, the camera nosedives there. All right, make sure I'm square. Pretty sure I am. And I am, because I squared that on the table saw. And I should have cut the line. couple changes here and there mid game, but you can see that's nice and strong. The stables just weren't quite strong enough to hold it. They weren't long enough, so going with the screws is probably a little bit better anyway. And now this wire's sandwiched really nice and tight. None of this can go anywhere, you know, especially since it's being held here and here, and you know that's sturdy. So now we don't have to worry about dogs being all crazy, and especially the older dogs that live back here flying off the porch, anybody falling to get hurt. So pretty easy, and I think Yaya be happy. She's been wanting that done for a while. And if you wanted to make this a solid panel, connect everything, I was going to put 45s from here to here after I got the chicken wire sandwich, but to keep everything matching, probably he wanted everything matching, so now everything looks the same. And just honestly, it's you know, if I gotten that hardware cloth stretched just a little bit tighter, it'd look good, pretty good, but it still doesn't look bad. And I can always put cut 2 more strips and to go across here, and then that would tighten everything up. So, but for a backyard dog fence, dog porch handrail, it'll do. And now I'll go get some plugs and go ahead and plug that, and don't have anything to worry about. All right, guys, well, that's it. Just another quick, easy project. Trying to knock out the to-do list around here. Not that will ever be done, but trying to get some of the little stuff done and caught up while it's pretty outside, because it's going to start raining again tomorrow. Oh boy. And we'll be back in the barn or inside. Such is life, right? All right, make sure to like, subscribe, and share so that you can, if you want to see any more of the other projects we have coming up. And thanks for watching.